Keep yourself in the loop of everything football. Listen to Alex and Jeremiah on the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Hello there, I'm Jeremiah.
I am Alex, always and forever here.
Dedicated to college and NFL football. The latest football news on and off the field. NFL draft trade rumors. We've got you covered from the NFL, Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, ACC, and everything else in between. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, where we talk the latest news, rumors, and games out of the NFL and college football from the latest science divisions, breakout stars, and all the news in between. As always, I'm Jeremiah.
And I'm Alex, and hello. Hello, good people of the world.
What's up, man? It is Wednesday.
And we have to start today on a down note.
Yeah, man. Very, very sad note, to be honest with you, especially for fans of the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, so Teddy Bridgewater yesterday went down, non-contact injury within the pocket during, I don't think, a play during practice. And from the get-go, they said it didn't look good. I was watching the press conference when it first came out. He suffered a dislocated knee and a torn ACL. The one good thing, the one bright horizon and the mist of thunderclouds they're facing right now is the fact that there is no nerve or arterial damage, which could make it much worse if there was nerve or any arterial damage. Just an ACL tear, unfortunately, that is still unfortunate, that happened. He's obviously probably out for the rest of the year.
No, he is out for the year.
One would imagine. It's really unfortunate. He has never really had an issue, at least that we've seen, publicly, with any kind of injury other than he's had a couple of concussions in the NFL. But he's a young guy. He's 23 years old. It's really unfortunate to see that happen. He didn't have amazing numbers, but he's perfect for the type of offense the Vikings want to run. He had 14 touchdowns last year. He only threw for a little bit over 3,000 yards, but he's good at really getting the ball to the marquee player of the offense, and that's Adrian Peterson. So it's unfortunate to see him get hurt. Currently, Sean Hill is going to be the starter going into the season unless they sign another veteran quarterback. And now the numbers is 3,231 yard-wise, 14 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Not like he's not going to go out there and throw for 300 yards every game, but he had good games. He definitely had good stretches of games, impressive games to say the least. But I ask you because we talked about it on the sports show. There are some veterans out there.
Yes, they are.
Whether or not you look at if Sanchez gets released, if you want to pick him up, he's the perfect guy for this type of offense. Hand the ball off, play action.
With the best running back in the game.
Exactly. And when he was most successful, he played for a team like the Jets, of course, that had a very good defense, a suffocating in terms of turnover defense that the Vikings similarly have, and a good running game, obviously, of arguably the best running back still in football in Adrian Peterson. You have guys like Vic, who's on he's a free agent. He could add something to this offense similarly. And then you have guys that you could trade for. Now, it's difficult to me to imagine that they would trade for somebody who has a decent amount left on their contract in years because, it's really a rent-a-player in a sense. You're having him for a year unless he goes out and has an MVP season and, some crazy thing like that. You have guys like, if I don't see it happening, but there are people who are like, oh, Kaepernick. You'd have to take on an amazingly big deal.
I don't see Colin Kaepernick being moved to any team.
Exactly. I think he would get released before he would get traded for because nobody's going to take that contract. You have guys like E.J. Manuel. They have Cardinals Jones now there. It shows a little bit more of a natural throwing style, stronger arm. Is he up for sale? Mike Glennon has been said to not be up for sale at all in terms of trades from the Buccaneers, but people have always wondered about him.
There's also Josh McCown.
And Josh McCown, yes, from the Browns. I would definitely say more than likely it would be somebody they pick up that was released. Like I said, you're going to have to give up some draft picks for a young guy. The only guy I can see them realistically going and getting that would give up a draft pick is A.J. McCarron from the Bengals. Mike Zimmer knows him. He was with the Bengals. Now he was a defensive coordinator there, but he knows the player. You probably have to give up a 3, maybe a second 3, 2 threes, which they have.
Two threes for A.J. McCarron?
They're not going to ask for anything less than that. They're going to say, let's start at 3 and we'll go from there, And then it's going to turn into, is that worth it for a year? or can Sean Hill really, handle this offense? So that's going to be the real interesting thing to look at. The final day for cuts is Saturday, after the final preseason tonight and tomorrow. One game tonight, of course. And we'll just go from there, see what happens.
Yeah, you know what? The one thing I would not rule out here, remember who started his career with the Minnesota Vikings?
See, Christian Ponder, in my opinion.
You didn't let me finish.
I'm
God
sorry.
Dang it.
I'm sorry. We talked about this.
I was trying to set it up so dramatically.
I'm sorry.
God
but
dang it.
There's nothing similar to the Vikings now.
I know.
As there was with Christian Ponder there.
But,
I thought about it. I was like, wouldn't that be funny? But
it would be kind of funny in a way, but I wouldn't rule it out. He is a veteran. He has.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't rule it out purely based on the fact that he'll be a veteran. It's probably going to be, I would say, if they keep Kaepernick, he'll be cut. So.
Yeah. Okay, but
I would say I wouldn't put it past that.
Let me finish. Okay, like Christian Palmer is a veteran. He has had success before as a starting quarterback. Ironically, it was with the Minnesota Vikings, and plus, Adrian Peterson was there too. Adrian Peterson had his best year ever of his career when Christian Ponder was the quarterback.
True.
Yeah. So. And Christian Ponder doesn't have to do a whole lot, to win the game.
He can't.
He can't. Yeah, he can't.
I wonder what his career high in passing yardage is. That's an interesting thing. I'll have that after our first break. But I don't. Yes, I don't put that past them. I say that. I mean, again, another veteran quarterback, the ability to do so. I think.
But yeah,
I wouldn't.
I would completely. I'm going to rule out Colin Kaepernick because.
Same here.
Because, he, honestly, with his political views and all that, I just don't see any team taking that on right now.
And then that's not even the biggest thing for me. Like, Ben and I were talking about that. I don't care about his political views like that.
No, I don't care either. I'm just saying, when you don't want to bring that huge attention to your team.
Yeah, but I mean, that alongside the fact that,
and plus he just looks
he's not
horrible.
playing that great.
He just looks horrible. So
yeah, exactly. He's not doing so well. So if anything, maybe I don't see that purely based off of
all right.
that,
Christian Ponder's career high in passing yards.
I don't mean season. I mean in a game.
Oh, in the game.
Yeah, his season high is 2,935.
Okay. You should have been more specific with that.
No, I'm sorry. I mean I mean straight up like in a game.
In a game. Okay. Yeah, we could probably have that for you guys after the break because we're talking about the NFC West today, and Christian Ponder is currently on a team in that division.
Nice. That was a good little leeway.
Yeah.
Okay, well, do you want to take the first break and come back and do that?
Yeah, we're going to be we'll come back from the break. And we're actually going to get talking about the Cardinals first when we come back. So, do not go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back after this break at the GSMC Football Podcast.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. And before we begin our NFC West Division preview, I just wanted to say Christian Ponder's career high in passing yards. We were talking about, the Vikings looking for a quarterback. I said I wouldn't rule out Christian Ponder. Alex went on, and then I just didn't really.
Whatever.
Yeah. But anyways, I was looking through his stats throughout his career here in actual game. And his career high is 381 passing yards against the Denver Broncos in Week 13 in 2011. He threw for 3 touchdowns in a game, but they lost the game to the Denver Broncos. And who was the quarterback for that team, Alex? That's right, Mr. Baseball, Tim Tebow.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that was the career high.
Yeah,
I wouldn't expect them to get close to 400 yards, honestly.
That was a good game, actually. I remember that game.
I don't recall it off the top of my head. I think I might recall a couple moments from it, but I don't.
That's what I don't recall the whole game, but I
Yeah.
recall like just some of the pivotal.
I mean,
moments.
like I can usually recall a lot of stuff about football games specifically, but I think maybe I can remember like a moment or two in that game. Not a lot.
that was Christopher Palmer's career high in passing yards in a game.
All right, man.
And it came in a game when he lost against Tim Tebow.
What was the score of that game?
It was 35-32.
Wow, that. Oh, you know what? I do remember that game.
You do remember
they won.
it now,
Yeah,
right?
they was one. It was one of his string of last-minute wins.
Yes.
I do recall that. Yeah. But again, I'm only remembering like a couple moments of that game, not as much as.
And that was the year that Kyle Orton started at quarterback for the Denver Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true. He started the season and was supplanted by Timothy Tebow,
who is now Mr. Baseball.
I wouldn't call him Mr. Baseball. I would call him Mr. Softball. Let's start with
Mr.
Batting Practice.
Mr. Batting Practice.
Mr. Soft Toss.
Let's
call him that for
Mr.
now.
T-Ball. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna go that
Tim
far.
T-Ball.
Oh, Tim.
That's nice. I like that.
T-Ball.
I like that.
Wow, I gotta tweet that out later.
All right, do that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hey, let's get into our NFC West preview. Of course, the NFC West last year consists, of course, every year of the team's ranking of San Francisco 49ers. Now, last year, St. Louis. Now, again, LA Rams, Seattle Seahawks, and the defending champion Arizona Cardinals, and that is where we're going to start. The Arizona Cardinals went 13-3 last year. Obviously, they had a nice full season from there. Good veteran duo of Larry Fitzgerald and Carson Palmer. Their defense played great. They lost some suspect games. 3 of those games they should have won. They played a Ben Roethlisberger-less Steelers team they lost to with 2 quarterbacks, Michael Vick, and then getting hurt. And Landry Jones came in. They lost some games they really should have won there. But they had a really good year, of course.
They could have had an even better year than they did. Better year.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty kind of scary. Honestly.
They're in position to have just as good of a year, if not equally better, next year. Of course, like I was saying, they lost to St. Louis. St. Louis was kind of we'll get into them. When St. Louis last year, now LA, of course. Last year, they were really, for the NFC West, they were the spoilers of these teams. But they beat almost everybody they faced except for St. Louis, and they lost to the Steelers, and they lost to Seattle near the end of the year. So 2 tough division losses.
They lost to Seattle. I think they rested their players.
Palmer played. He had 129 yards passing. He played into the first half. They lost 36-6, so I mean, there you go with that. And then eventually they lost in the playoffs to the Panthers pretty badly, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
But, yeah, you're right. This team does have a chance to be better than they were last year. They start the season facing Tom Brady-less New England Patriots, and then they go on a 3-game stretch of Tampa Bay, Buffalo, and Los Angeles, all very much winnable games for them. Not to mention following the week on my birthday, Thursday, October 6th, they face conference rival.
Oh, yeah.
San Francisco.
The San Francisco 49ers at Levi Stadium
for
a Thursday night game.
Yeah, I expect for that to be quite a monstrous defeat. But we'll have to see. But honestly, going through week 7, I feel like they could legitimately be 6-0.
Okay, yeah, before they face the Seattle Seahawks. Okay, yeah. All right,
I can definitely see that.
Yes.
CenturyLink also.
Yes,
I feel like they could easily be 6-2, if not 7-1. They're going to look for revenge on Seattle and Carolina before their bye week 9. I could see them being 6-2, 7-1.
Oh yeah, I would not argue with that at all. And the thing about the Arizona Cardinals is they're getting Tyrann Mathieu back healthy. After missing a year, and that's big for this defense. You saw how much of an impact he made.
He was great last year.
Yeah, but when he wasn't on the field, you can see how much of an impact he really makes for this team.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, actually the first game they play Seattle is actually a home game for them. So boom, lucky for them.
Yep.
They go 2 home games straight, New England, Tampa Bay, and then away, home, away, home, home, away. So not a bad start to the year. And, of course, they have their bye week 9. I think, realistically, they could be 6-2, 7-1. And then the second half of their season is a little easier for them. They have San Francisco again, this time at home, Minnesota, Atlanta on the road, Washington at home, a fellow division winner from last year, Miami away, New Orleans at home, and then 2 road games to end it within the division, Seattle and Los Angeles.
Yeah, so the toughest game that this team has second half of the season is week 16. I would if the injury to Teddy Bridgewater didn't happen. I would have said maybe that would have been a tougher game, but
we'll see where the Vikings are at week 11.
Yeah, we don't know how this team is going to perform.
Excuse me. Yeah,
because the Vikings do have a defense, but Falcons,
they do have quite a good defense.
Yeah, and then Falcons, we don't know what they're going to do every year. The Redskins, we don't know what any of these NFC East teams are going to look like. The Dolphins, yeah, I'll probably give them that win. I don't like what I'm seeing from Ryan Tannehill at all.
Ryan Tannehill looked really good this preseason.
Well, I don't know.
Tannehill's looked good, man.
He's looked okay.
No, he's looked good. Okay. He had a really good first preseason game, or the first one he really got action in. He looked good. I like Tannehill. I think with some more weapons, he could be a good
I don't know. He just hasn't really progressed like the way I thought he would by now.
I get what you mean. He hasn't fully progressed, but I definitely think that
well, because it is preseason though, so I'm not gonna. Don't worry, I'm not ruling that out. But it's like,
I know what you mean. I get what you mean. He hasn't quite progressed.
He hasn't progressed the way I thought he would by now. But anyways, moving on.
Let's go to Seattle.
Yes.
So the Seahawks, 10-6 last year, winning a lot of games. There's not much to say about this Seattle team.
I'm not gonna lie. I think it was kind of even though the Seattle Seahawks made the playoffs, I think it was kind of an off year.
Yeah, they started the year back-to-back losses at St. Louis and at Green Bay. St. Louis in overtime. They won two. They went away, home. Chicago and Detroit, their first two home games. They won both of those at least the Chicago game, pretty handedly. The Detroit game was the game of some drama there late with the punch of the ball out of the end zone. Detroit looked like they were going to finish the game off and win that one.
Yeah, that was that Monday night game, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, but heading into Week 7, this team was 2-4, and they lost an overtime game to Cincinnati, who had that amazing start last year. They lost a close one to the Carolina Panthers, 27-23. It wasn't until Week 7 against the Niners is when they really turned it around. They won 20-3 there, and then they beat Dallas 13-12 in another close game. They head into their Week 9 bye week, and at this point they were 4-4. They needed to really, save that season, and I think from that point they did. I believe after the bye week or before the bye week is when Cam Chancellor came back. They lost to Arizona in a really, really, really entertaining game, 39-32.
Yeah, the team that featured really good defenses, it was a high-scoring game.
Yeah, and then they went on to win 6 of their last 7 games. San Francisco, Pittsburgh, that was a really close game. San Francisco, they kind of handled them again. Minnesota, they handed them 38-7. That's why I thought the Minnesota-Seattle playoff game was so good, because complete flip-flop. Baltimore obviously had a bad year, and I think by this point Flacco might have been hurt. 35-6, Cleveland 30-13. St. Louis 23-17, and then 36-6 again against Arizona. Wasn't really any challenges for them after the bye week, excluding that Arizona loss. So this team really turned it around in the second half. I think they'll have a better year this year than probably last year. There's a lot going for them in that sense. And they have a little easier schedule, especially, don't even get me started on their first 4 games before the bye week. You have the Dolphins, you have the Rams, you have the Niners, and you have the Jets.
Wow, that is easily they can start 4-0.
Oh, easily. And then they go into the bye week, of course, Week 5, and then Week 6 through 17. They have some challenges. They have Atlanta and Arizona in 6 and 7. They have New England Week 10.
And Brady will be back for that
13. Game. Yeah, Brady will be back. He'll be back Week 5, I think.
Yeah, Week 5 against the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm. Week 13 and 14, they have the Packers and the Carolina Packers. So back-to-back. So Carolina is at home, and the Packers in Green Bay. Back-to-back games there. That's probably the toughest stretch they have, those 2 games there. But this looks like an easy schedule to me, unless these teams within the division play them like this division typically gets game-wise. We get the Rams being spoilers.
Yeah, the Rams always play tough against division opponents.
Oh,
so I wouldn't be surprised if they give them, a tough game.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you
in LA or in Century League
exactly?
Field.
Yeah. What do you think of this team going into this year?
Like I said earlier, last season was an off year for the Seattle Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
And that was weird. They was 10-6. That's a good season
for a lot of people.
For a lot of teams.
Yeah.
But the expectation is higher for Seattle because they're like 2 years removed from winning the Super Bowl. But I think they're going to be a lot better. The schedule's easier. They can easily start off 3-1, 4-0. Because the Jets is probably, I think that's going to be the toughest game that they have in the first 4-game stretch, but I think they can win it. And breaking down the schedule, it looks very easier than last year. They do got tough games against Green Bay Packers week 14, New England Patriots week 10, and of course, they got 2 matchups against the Arizona Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
And then they end the year against the 49ers. So, that's kind of like a tune-up before the playoffs.
Yeah, and the Panther game, too. Don't forget the Panther game.
Oh, yeah, and the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, that should be, honestly, very exciting. Honestly, yeah.
That'll be a good game.
Yeah, but, honestly, I can see them probably getting, 12 wins. 12 wins. 12-4 now.
I can see that. Yeah, and I agree with you. I think it's really that second half is going to be a little harder for them, obviously, but because they have such a long stretch after week 4 bye, or week 5 bye, or whatever it is for them, but I agree with you. Okay, let's do this. Let's take one last break.
Okay.
So we'll do 2 teams break, 2 teams. We'll start with LA after the break.
Let's do that.
All right, so you guys don't go anywhere here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. We'll be right back to talk some LA Rams football.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
All right, we are back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. We're going to get into the LA Rams, their first season back in LA after a long stretch in St. Louis that garnered them 2 Super Bowl appearances and 1 ring. They went 7-9 last year in their last year in St. Louis. They played some spoilers to a lot of teams, you could say. Am I wrong there, Jeremiah, or am I right?
No, you are not wrong. Looking back to last season, week 1, they defeated Seattle Seahawks 34-31 in overtime.
Yeah.
So everyone thought, they're taking that next step forward, being that playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one of those people, but they went through a terrible 5-game losing streak from week 9 to 13.
I would like to say that I was one of those people that was like, yeah, this team took a new step, but it was a playoff. I'm sorry, it's not a playoff. It was a conference game, and I know how the Rams are. So
they always play that way. And then the reason why I still kind of believe that they can make that next step is because they defeated Arizona Cardinals 3 weeks later, 24-22.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the team against that eventually won the division.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I don't know. There's just one of those hard teams to figure out. It's like they play good against the good teams, but they play bad against the bad teams.
Yeah, I mean, they swept the Seahawks last year.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else in the division did that. The Cardinals obviously did, and I don't think the Niners won either of their matchups.
I don't want to talk about the Niners yet, but actually, speaking of the Niners, the Rams actually play tough against the Niners when the Niners were actually playoff contenders.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The Rams play well against. Like I said, they swept the Seattle last year. They split the season series against Arizona. They got kind of handled in that second game, December 6th, week 13, 27-3, and they lost to the Niners the second time they faced them. But they whooped on them the first time,
which was kind of a snooze fest too.
It was a boring game.
Yeah,
it was let's just end this pitiful year. Let's just end it here. They were 7-8 at that point, and they're like, "Hey, maybe we can go 8-8."
Yeah, but
the Niners are like, "Well, maybe we can win 4 games."
During that brutal 6-game stretch from week 9 to 13, they could have won 2 of those games. They lost to the Minnesota Vikings 21-18 overtime,
mm-hmm.
and then 2 weeks later, they lost to the Baltimore Ravens 16-13.
Yeah,
so those are 2 games that they could have easily won.
Mm-hmm.
They could have won 9-7.
Mm-hmm.
So
that 5-game stretch really killed them.
It really did. That 5-game stretch was brutal, and they should have honestly beat the Niners week 17.
Yeah, they could have very much ended on a 4-game.
They should have won that game, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree with you. The Niners, I mean, I don't know. That was such a boring game. Like, I was like, are you kidding me? Overtime? Like, I don't want any more of this. You know what I mean?
Usually fans are excited for free football. We weren't excited for that at all. But anyway, moving on to the schedule next year, the Rams actually start the season off against the Niners on Monday Night Football in that doubleheader. They play the nightcap.
Yes, they do. I'm familiar with that Monday Night double cap because I'm interested in the first game of that doubleheader.
Yeah.
Steelers at Washington.
Well, I know you are, which we'll probably get into that tomorrow, maybe, if we happen to preview that division.
The North?
Yeah. But we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the Rams play Seattle week 2.
Spoiler, maybe 2-0,
2-0,
maybe
2-0, probably, yeah. And then they can honestly start the season 3-0 because they play Tampa Bay after Seattle.
Hey man, I feel bad for any fans of the Niners or the Rams on the East Coast because for them that game starts at 10:20 p.m.
Yeah, no, I know, but
that game's not over till midnight plus.
Do you honestly think there's a lot?
There's
of fans?
some. I'm not saying there's a lot. I'm saying I feel bad for those who are.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to lie, if I was on the East Coast, I'd be like, really, got to stay up to 10? I
would do it.
I don't know if I would because...
Oh, I would. And flip-flop the Steelers fans, from the Pennsylvania fans over there in Pittsburgh, If that was the same thing, like that game, I guarantee all of them would be staying up. But luckily they have the game here in California starts at 3:50.
Yeah. That is pretty sick.
3:50 p.m. How are they going to wait past noon? You know what I mean? And then they have, of course, the game starts at 7:50 for them. But anyways, getting past that, yeah. I mean, if they play spoiler like they did last year with at least a couple of the division opponents, they can go 4-0, man.
Yeah, they could. Honestly, they could. And then Buffalo. Buffalo is a tough team.
Every game in their first 7 weeks are winnable for them.
They are. They honestly, yes.
I
wouldn't be surprised if LA has a really good start.
Yeah, I'm not going to say 7-0.
No, I'm not either.
But because that would surprise me big time.
It would. I'm not going to either because to me they don't have. I don't know. They just don't have that much.
But I think they can definitely go 4-0, maybe,
I can definitely see that
if this team plays to their potential. They can beat the Niners. They've proved they can beat Seattle. They beat Tampa Bay last year. They've proved they can beat Arizona. Unfortunately, the Arizona game is in Arizona, but Seattle's playing them in LA at the Coliseum. But their first 4 games, as a matter of fact, of their first 6 games, 4 of them are on the road.
Yeah.
So that'll be tough for them in that aspect. The second half of their season isn't as forgiving. They have Carolina, they have New Orleans, New England, Seattle again. This time at CenturyLink, they have Atlanta at home. And then they end the year with 2 home games against division opponents.
In the Coliseum.
Yeah,
yes.
San Francisco and then Arizona.
Yes.
I'm not sure how this team's going to do. I can never.
They're a hard team to figure out.
I can never figure them out.
And honestly, it's very interesting to see who's actually how Jared Goff will play if he happens to start.
As of right now, it doesn't look like he's going to start.
Yeah,
it looks like
which I don't think he. Yeah, so
he's still learning.
Which I'm really kind of interested to see how this team is going to perform at the quarterback position.
Yeah,
and
I think at some point Goff will start this year.
Oh, he will.
I think it's just a matter of time. Maybe after the bye week, so on and so forth. But Keenum apparently looks like he's going to start, and I think he can win in San Francisco.
Oh, he can definitely win San Francisco.
I mean, he was a quarterback a lot of the year last year, and he won these games. So it remains to be seen how.
And that's why I also think he is going to be the starter week 1 because he was on this team last year. He knows how he has a year.
I say, hey, if you want to get Goff acclimated, throw him in against the Niners, man. It'll be like a scrimmage.
That's kind of harsh. Okay.
No, the Niners defense is better than that.
Yeah, that's kind of harsh. Okay, come on, man, calm down.
Sorry. It's not like he's playing the offense.
Offense versus offense. Okay.
7-on-7. Let's move into the Niners. How about that?
Okay. What's you know how we started on the down note? Well, we're gonna end on a down note. Talking about the San Francisco 49ers here.
Yeah, 5-11 last year.
That honestly though, that
was better than people gave credit for.
What people thought this team was going to look like, that was a good year. I'm not joking.
That's exactly what I thought the record would be. And now heading into this year,
I thought they were going to do a lot worse.
Yeah, I gave them 3 last year. Now heading into this year, they are literally, if you watch Parks and Rec, you know my reference. They are literally not favored in one of their games this year.
Yes, I love
By the bookies, they are favored to lose every one of their games. And of course, I don't think they'll go 0-16. They have winnable games. Whether it be
not
the
that
Rams,
bad.
Tampa Bay, Buffalo. They have Miami this year, Chicago. I don't think they won't win a game, obviously, but they are literally not favored in any one of their games this year.
I love the Rob Lowe reference from Parks and Rec.
Thanks, man.
Because I'm a huge Parks and Rec fan, too.
Oh, good. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
I watched every episode of that show.
Oh, I have, too.
Good.
Yeah.
But let's look at the schedule from last year.
Let's do that.
This team, I feel like, had to lead the league in blowouts last year.
They
lost 20 to I'm sorry, against them. They won 23 on Monday night. Everybody's like, "Oh, everybody's worrying for nothing."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And don't worry, I was one of those people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How about Steelers game? I know you remember that game.
Oh,
week
dude,
2, 43-18.
Yeah.
How about week 3, 47-7? Week 4 against Green Bay, 17-3. And then they lost a close one to New York, and people were like, "Oh man, they might have it." They came back and beat
Giants,
Baltimore 25-20.
It was that Sunday night game when
And then it was like, 25-20. This is where they turn the season around. They are now 2-4. Oh yeah. How about back-to-back losses, 20-3 and 27-6 against Seattle and St. Louis within your division? And then you won a close game in Atlanta,
which was Blaine Gabbert's first start.
Yeah, before the bye week to put yourself at 3-6.
Yeah, and then that week 9 win against the Atlanta Falcons was Blaine Gabbert's first start after Colin Kaepernick was benched.
Yeah, I mean, he got benched for good reasoning. He wasn't playing
and
well.
Don't worry, he was sitting. He was sitting.
You're
you think he was sitting last Friday? Well, dude, he's been sitting the second half of last year. Let's just go with that. That's all I'm going to say. But
I'm counting their blowouts right now. You keep going. I'm counting all the blowouts.
Yeah, and wow, Alex is counting their blowouts.
7 blowouts.
I'm telling you right now,
7 of 16 games.
What 7 blowouts of 6? Yeah. Wow,
and I consider the. Like, I consider 17-3 a blowout just because they were never in that game.
They were never. Like, I watched the Packers and 49ers game, and it was pretty unwatchable. This was the most unwatchable team in the league. All year. There was just nothing to be excited about this team. Like, I get it. Okay, the first game, Carlos Hyde was the star of that game.
Yeah.
That was
168 yards on the
That
ground.
was probably the only game that was actually watchable because Carlos Hyde put on the show. After that, I don't know what the heck they were doing.
Hey, I enjoyed it. Week 2 was enjoyable.
Oh, but I know that. And then week 3,
Kaepernick threw for 335 yards that game.
He did.
It was a skewed stat number.
But that was garbage time.
It was a lot of garbage time.
Yeah.
And it was against a very bad secondary.
But honestly, though, they did have. Honestly, I take that back. They have 2 exciting games last year. Week 13, their win against the Chicago Bears. That was Blaine Gabbert's probably best game of the whole year.
I don't know. He threw for 196 and he ran for 75.
But he had 2 very good, exciting plays that won him that game.
That's true.
He had that 44-yard rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
And he had that 75-yard touchdown pass to Torrey Smith, which was pretty much half of his yards of that game. But
Torrey Smith?
It was Torrey Smith.
How many yards was the catch?
Well, did I say 75?
75 because he had 76 yards receiving that game.
I think it was 70, right?
I don't know. I'm saying he had 76 total.
I don't know. I might be way off.
That's way more than half.
I'm talking about Blaine Gabbert's
185 yards passing.
185, yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it. He pretty much had 110 yards.
Am I wrong on that stat?
What?
That pass to Torrey Smith in that week.
Oh, sorry, 196 yards passing. Torrey Smith had 76 yards receiving that game.
Okay, but what was that touchdown? What was that touchdown? How long was it?
Let me go look at the thing real quick. I was going to say his best statistical game, he threw for 300-plus yards against the Rams week.
No, I'm saying that was probably
16.
one. You're
talking plays.
I'm talking about plays, yeah. Because he made plays that really won them that game.
Yeah, he did. Excuse me. I'm looking currently. Jay Cutler had a good game that day, too. He was 18 for 31, 202, but he had a pick. That does not just sound like Jay Cutler. I'll tell you what. Let me see if I can find those stats. I remember the play in which you speak of. I just don't know the yardage in which you speak
I will look it up. You're taking way too long.
Oh, no, it's cool. I got the play-by-play right here. Don't you worry about it right now.
You're taking way too long.
It was a touchdown, right?
Yeah, it was a touchdown.
Yeah, it was a 71-yard pass from Blaine
I knew
Gabbert.
it. Yes, 70. Yes. So,
and
yeah,
that was 44-yard running ad.
So that was most of Torrey Smith's stats right there.
And you guys had your Sean Drawn.
Hey, Sean John did pretty well at times last year. I'm not gonna lie. He did really
touchdown.
well. Yeah. But anyways, this team, I don't know. I just don't see them winning that many games. Like looking at their schedule this year, they do start off against LA on Monday Night Football. I don't see them winning that game, but who knows? And they got they can honestly start 0-6. 0-6 because they got LA, Carolina, and Seattle on the road. And then they got Dallas, who are I think they're going to be pretty good with Dak Prescott there. And they got Arizona. And then they go to the Ralph in Buffalo.
The Ralph. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even called that anymore, but still, I'm still calling it the Ralph.
call Mile High. I don't call it Sports Authority Field.
I don't do that either.
Stupid.
And I don't call Old.co.
I know, I'll call
the Coliseum.
Yep.
And then they have probably, I don't see him beating Tampa Bay on October 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
So I can honestly see this team start the season winless heading to their bye week.
Again, they are not favored in any game.
They're not.
They very well could start the year off on a very bad note.
Like, it's hard for me to say this team's going to go 0-16, but
you gotta recognize it when you can, you know? Like, I'm a Kings fan. I know the Sacramento Kings are going to win like 28 games every year. Like, whatever. Until we get better, I know that's a fact. You know what I mean?
But I know it's hard for me to see any team, honestly, at all to go 0-16. But honestly, I wouldn't rule it out. I would not rule it out. They're not. I'm looking at the schedule. I don't see them beating any of these teams. You know, maybe I will give them a chance, probably against Tampa Bay. I want to say Dallas, but Dallas looks like they're going to be pretty good.
They look like they have a young, fun,
they look like
team.
they're going to be pretty good with Dak Prescott.
I'm going to watch some Dallas games this year.
I think I am too, and I hardly ever watch Dallas games. But Dak
depends
Prescott,
who they're playing.
It depends, but Dak Prescott makes me want to watch the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, I can honestly see them winning that game, but I really like what I'm seeing from them heading into this year, and I do think Jameis Winston's going to have an improved year.
Okay.
The Saints, I could probably see them winning because of that defense. That defense is just absurd.
Bad.
It's so absurdly bad.
Uh-huh.
Maybe Miami or Chicago, but I don't know. They do play at Chicago again, so I can probably see them heading to Soldier Field with a win there. But other than that, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hard for me to project wins for this team.
No, I get
but
you.
But they're probably going to be in last place again.
Oh yeah, I think they go last place again. I give them 3 to 5 wins.
I give them 2.
Oh.
With the first pick in the draft, baby. Let's go.
Oh my Lord. All right, well, hey, let's go ahead and do this.
Okay.
Take us out.
Okay, how about
let us go?
Before we do that,
yeah, let's remind people there's some stuff.
Okay, so I have the Arizona Cardinals winning the division again.
I do too,
and I have the Seahawks a close second.
Yeah, I have it finishing about last year.
These teams are going to probably be battling it out for the whole entire year.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then Rams, I
got them winning maybe 8-8, maybe.
Yeah, 8-8. Yeah, I can see that. And then jinx! But dang it.
Knock on wood, I got it.
Okay. And then the 49ers, of course, are going to finish last. So
yeah.
I'm sorry. I just don't.
Get a consolation trophy.
No, you don't.
No.
I'm sorry.
They're going to – well, see how their defense looks this year, added pieces.
Niners
added pieces, but I still think bad.
No, you know what, though? I know I gave the Niners a hard time today, but I'm going to tell you this. I think they're going to play better, but they're still not going to win many games because – Look at that! Look at the talent they have on offense. They got no receivers.
Your talent is stretching it.
Okay.
Saying the word talent.
Because look at their receivers. Best receiver is Torrey Smith, and he's not even a complete receiver. And then the old line is pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
And then Carlos Hyde just can't stay healthy. So I don't know. I think that offense is probably going to be historically bad, but their defense should improve. But anyway, okay. So
I would say let's not forget either to remind the folks there is football tonight.
Yes, we got
Washington
Wednesday
and
night.
Tampa Bay.
Yes, we got Wednesday night football, folks.
Yeah, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. They had to move the game from Tampa Bay, or in Tampa Bay, to tonight because tomorrow in Tampa Bay there's apparently like a really bad thunderstorm.
Yeah.
There's like a hurricane I think going that way right now. Hurricane Madeline. Or
and
like that.
I know this is a day early, but tomorrow we got a game on Twitter on college football.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What game is that?
I think it's Utah State versus Weber State. I'm not.
Wow. Barn burner. Oh man.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the teams. I literally just read it right now, but
It's all good.
I will correct myself tomorrow if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, we'd like to thank you for tuning to our NFC West preview show. And what division do you think we should preview next? I'm gonna let you choose.
Didn't you say the North divisions?
So we want to do one show with AFC and NFC North.
We might have to. We're getting
All right.
down to the nitty gritty,
Yes,
man.
I think you know what? I think that's what we're gonna have to do. So
Now that we're doing one show a week, we might have to.
yes. So you know what?
Or one show every day, I mean.
So we're gonna do. I was like one show a week. I'm like, like
Come
wow.
on. Oh, no.
That would be like a 3-hour show we would have to do.
Oh, my Lord, no.
But
We might do it that way, yes.
we're gonna do that tomorrow, and of course we're gonna talk about a little bit of some preseason action as well.
And review tonight's game.
Yeah. So, but anyways, we'd like to thank you for tuning into the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. You can catch us Monday through Friday on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, and on our website, gsmcpodcast.com. And you can follow us on Twitter at @GSMC_football and on Instagram at the same handle. That is at @GSMC_football. And
Did
you
you
can.
say Facebook?
I was going to.
Well, I usually say it with YouTube because it's the same thing, so I apologize.
And you can like us on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. So, do you got anything else to say?
I'm so excited for football to start, so.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to share it with you guys. But, no, I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, tune into tomorrow's show, guys. We got AFC, NFC North preview.
And some recap of tonight's game, just real quick, just the real quick stuff.
Yep.
What are you going to do, man? I'm excited. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I will see you tomorrow morning.
Bye, guys.